Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I know there's some young people out there where you might not know the history of Grand Theft Auto. You're kind of wondering, like, dang, how did Grand Theft Auto become such a big series to where we got it where Grand Theft Auto 6 hasn't even came out yet, and it's gonna most likely, we know that it's gonna be Game of the Year. We know that come next year, like, there's going to be a lot of different games that comes out. Everybody's going to be playing Grand Theft Auto 6. You're going to see Call of Duty players playing Grand Theft Auto 6. You're going to see Fortnite players, Valorant players, Apex players, Arc Raiders players. You're going to see so many different communities come together just to play Grand Theft Auto 6. And what's crazy is that we don't know nothing about this game. We don't know. We've seen some trailers. We've heard some whispers. We've heard some rumors. We do not know nothing about this game besides the stuff that the stuff that Rockstar Games done put out. But other than that, the only stuff that we have of Grand Theft Auto 6 are trailers and delays. But no, that's the thing though, because I know people will probably ask that question, like, is this a common thing with Rockstar Games for them to delay their games? The only game I ever remember them delaying was Grand Theft Auto 5. I don't remember them delaying for San Andreas or even any other Rockstar games like Midnight Club, Red Dead Redemption, all that stuff. But no, Grand Theft Auto 5, I do remember when that game, because I think it was supposed to come out. People were thinking it was going to come out in 2012. And then that's when they had announced that the game was going to come out in March of 2013. Then I think it was maybe the beginning of 2013. That's when they announced that it was going to get delayed. It was either 2013 or 2012. It was at some point in time they announced that the game was going to get delayed until September of 2013. And so, yeah, I remember when that time, when that had happened, I wasn't disappointed. I wasn't upset. I was like, that didn't really start affecting me until the one video game the day before when they kept delaying it. Because I was like, at least with Grand Theft Auto 5, it was like, I think it was like one delay. And I think that was it was a rumor that the game was supposed to come out in 2012. But it was like, we didn't see no date. And then that's when they was like, yeah, Rockstar was like, oh no, the game's coming out in 2013. And so I was like, oh, okay, cool. No biggie, no problem. So, but anyways, yeah, the game comes out. Everybody's happy about it. But I feel like we need to give you, like, I need to give people an origin story of how this game became famous. Because, nah, man, Grand Theft Auto, that is a series where I felt like that when they released Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, it took Grand Theft Auto to a new level. Like, that was one thing about Grand Theft Auto was that San Andreas, in my opinion, that's what put the series on the map. But let's go back before. Let's talk all the way back on the earlier Grand Theft Auto games, because I'm going to keep it a buck with you guys. I didn't know Grand Theft Auto 1 had existed until San Andreas had came out. Like, I had learned so much about Grand Theft Auto after San Andreas because it was a game, it was the hottest game. Like, everybody saw, I was in elementary when Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out. That's how old I am. Like, it was like that game came out in 2004. Dang, that's just crazy to think that. Like, man, I'm like, it feels weird. It feels weird to think, like, I was 8 when that game had came out. And it's a game that I still play to this day. Like, that's how good Grand Theft Auto, how, like, when they make a game, because that was the thing. You didn't see too many open world crime riddled, not riddled, but crime filled. I think, okay, like that, I think that would be a proper way of promoting it and stuff. But you didn't see too many games like that. Like, I remember some of the games that I played growing up. I played of course, the Mario games. I played a Terminator game. I remember playing, there was like a Fairly Odd Parents? I think it's like Fairly Odd Parents, Fairly Godparents, whatever the name is of that show. But anyways, I remember playing one of those games. I remember playing The Sims. I was playing a lot of different racing games. What else? Yeah, there was like so many different games that were coming out because this was the PlayStation 2 era. So for those that don't really know too much about the PlayStation 2 era, that in my opinion, was probably the best era of gaming. Like PlayStation 2 era, that was next level. Like, even though them games was like, dirt old, and it's like it doesn't look like the games that come out today. PlayStation 2 games, I'm telling you, like Tony Hawk, Midnight Club, I'm trying to think of some other games that was on there. I'm saying, like, you had so many big games just blowing up out of nowhere. And I'm like, yeah, you got games like the Tony Hawk series, for an example, where it's like you got Tony Hawk, the Pro Skater series, Tony Hawk, the Underground series, even American Wasteland. I'm trying to think of some other ones and stuff. Yeah, it was like Tony Hawk, they were like, Activision was killing it with that game. And then, of course, you had like Call of Duty, and, well, I wouldn't say Call of Duty. I feel like it kind of had its rising during the Xbox 360 era, but you had like a lot of different games that were coming out where it's like, bro, like these are some good games. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas gets announced. Everybody is talking about it. So I remember when I was in school and people were talking about this game, because I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, what's this Grand Theft Auto San Andreas that you speak of? What is this game? What do you mean by this game? This is new to me. I've never heard of this game before. People were telling me about it, and I'm like, I have to get this game. I have to get it. I don't care how I get it, but I have to get it. Like, that's when, like, kids, here's the thing. I feel like that, I don't know what the conversation would be, I guess, like, with video games today amongst kids, but I felt like that back then, like, you couldn't compare, even because when, like high school, middle school, there was no game that stood out like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Like, I mean, yeah, you had, like, some good Call of Duty titles, you had some other good titles here and there and stuff. I'm telling you, like, it was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. You probably, if you went to the right school, there was probably some teachers talking about this game. I felt like if I was probably in high school when that game had came out, oh yeah, there definitely would have been some teachers like, oh yeah, I'm after school today, I plan on playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Or you had a teacher, you had been at the lunchroom table talking about like what mission? Oh, the follow the train mission, and they were like, wait a minute. So it's like you have been sitting down eating with your friends talking about that game and stuff, or that mission. There had been a teacher came up, no, like, so wait a minute, so like, do you follow the train and shoot the guys, or do you just leave the guys and then and like how do you go about that mission? Because I've been stuck on it for the past 2 days. I guarantee and I promise you, somewhere in America in 2004, when Grand Theft Auto San Andreas came out, a teacher was definitely talking to a student about that game. I am willing to bet money that there is a teacher that was playing Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Not to be all like, oh, I want to become one with the kids and all that and relate to the... No, they played it because they are a fan. So anyways, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas is coming out. I have to get the game. I remember going into Target and seeing, because this was like when Target, like old school Target, this was like Target where it's like you go in there, you be standing there playing the game, head all up. You know how like you sit like front row at the movie theaters, that's how they had them TVs in there and stuff. So anyways, head all up, looking, playing the game and stuff. And then, I remember it was me and my mom. We go in there, I see the game, and I'm like, bro, I have to get it. I have to ask. I know she told me not to ask for nothing when I get in this store, but I gotta ask, because it's like, you never know. It's like, it's a gamble, and you being a kid and you go into a store and you're like, okay, like, I know she said not to ask for nothing, but I gotta ask for something. Like, I don't listen when it comes to stuff like that. So anyways, I see the game. And I'm like, bro, I gotta get this. I'm like, mom, I gotta get this game. Can you please get me Grand Theft Auto San Andreas? I'm like, I don't know what I could possibly do to earn this game, but I got to get this game. And that's when she was all like, no, the game's too expensive. Maybe we could get one of the other Grand Theft Auto games. I'm like, but no, I gotta get San Andreas. That's the new one. That's the one. So it's funny because I know people are probably like, I guess for somebody that doesn't really know video game prices and all that, video game prices used to be cheap back then. Like, you could get a special, no, so that was the other title that Rockstar Games had released, was Midnight Club. they had their one game that had came out. I think it was a year after Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition. So Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition was probably the biggest racing game. Oh yeah, now I almost forgot about that series too, Need for Speed. So yeah, you had it where Need for Speed had their thing going on. Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition came out, and it really skyrocketed Rockstar Games. I mean, it's like you guys, like, back-to-back years, you release good games. Like, what's going on over at Rockstar right now? Like, what you guys got going on and stuff. So, yeah, I know that might be a shocker to some people. They're like, wait a minute, a video game company releasing 2 good games back-to-back? And they're like, no, that's unheard of. Yeah, especially in this day and age, it's definitely unheard of. But anyways, so yeah, Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition comes out. Game's like a $49.99 video game. I remember when they came out with the Remix Edition, where it's like that was their version of releasing a DLC. But back then, it's like they didn't have like if you've never played on a PlayStation 2 or the original Xbox stuff, they didn't have stores that you could go to get DLCs. Like, that was the thing about gaming back then, is that a video game had all of the content. And if you might see, because I think The Sims, they did that, where they came out with The Sims 2, but then they also had The Sims 2 Pets. And then I think they came out with quite a few of those, like, Sims 2 games. Hold on for a second. Let me check real quick. Let's see. Yeah, Sims 2 series. Let's see. The Sims 2. I don't hold on for a second. Because they, edition complete. Okay, there we go. So, that doesn't help me with what I'm trying to tell you guys. Yeah, that's expansion packs. I think this is like for the PC. Yeah, so on PC they might have had DLCs, but no, yeah, on on the console and stuff, yeah, they had it where it was just the game itself. So I guess one Sims 2, because the one that I remember getting was the Sims 2 Pets. It was pretty much the same exact game. They just had it where you could have dogs and cats in there and stuff. So, but that was their way of releasing DLCs back then. So that's what Midnight Club 3 did. So Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition, I believe it was $49.99 when it came out. I think when Dub Edition Remix had came out, at least I don't feel like it was that much of a time difference, like a year or something. But anyways, I remember my dad had gave me $100. And so I can't, because I'm trying to think. I don't think it was my birthday when I had got that game. Either way, regardless, I remember my dad giving me $100. I went up to that same Target where I seen Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and I already had the game, by the way. So, but I seen the price of Midnight Club 3 Dub Edition Remix. Game was only $19.99. And so that included all of the original content and the added on content. So they had like more cars, more areas that you could go to. $20, bro. $20. And I went up to, I don't even know where that game is at right now, because I did recently reacquire that game. And yeah, I was like, fam, I spent more on the game now than I did like 20 years ago. And I'm like, man, I was like, and I didn't even have a job back then 20 years ago. I was a kid. I was in elementary. I'm like, what elementary kid I think the only person I know that was in elementary and had a job was Major Payne. If you know, you know. But anyways, games used to be cheap back then. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was only $49.99, but back then that's like $69.99 today and stuff. So yeah, it's crazy how like in just 20 years we done went up $20, but we giving out less of a video game. And Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, I guess for somebody that's never played that game, a gang of missions, a gang of areas that you could go to. I would have to say San Andreas, in my opinion, that was probably the biggest Grand Theft Auto map of all time. Like, I remember playing not Liberty Cities, but 4, and I was like, dang, like every time I play this game and go to an area, it's always a new area. I'm like, why, where is this area? What's this area? I would have to say 4 was very detailed, but Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, that map was huge. I was like, bro, this game is insane. Like, so that's what the situation was with San Andreas, at least for me, was that it was too mature. And no, I remember when I was trying to get that game and my dad had heard about it, because I know my uncle, he probably heard about it through my uncle. If not, then he might have heard about it through work. But I think he heard somewhere that the game was very explicit. And so, yeah, I was like, I remember I asked for it. Actually, prior before I even had asked for that game, what had happened, so I did end up getting, because I know people are like, well, wait a minute, you didn't get one of the other, because 3 in Vice Cities was good. That's the crazy thing about 3 in Vice Cities. So I'm like, dang, man, because I had never played a Grand Theft Auto game prior before San Andreas and stuff. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll get 3. It's like, it's not San Andreas, but it's a Grand Theft Auto game. I'm like, at least I have something, It's like, ain't too many times, a kid goes up to a store and gets a video game and then ain't even no special occasion and stuff. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll get 3 and stuff. So I get 3, come home, I'm playing it, but I'm like, man, I'm having fun with the game, and I'm like, it's still not San Andreas, but it's cool, it's whatever, I'll manage, I'll get it at some point in time and things. Next thing you know, my dad comes home, he comes home with a copy of Vice Cities. I'm like, what is going on? 2 games in one day? I'm like, there ain't no special occasion, there ain't nothing going on. This was just a random, certain day. I don't know what day it was, but it was just a random day in the afternoon. And I'm like, why am I getting so many video games? Like, it's one thing to get 1 game, and it's like, oh, okay, cool, you get 2 games, and then it's like, the middle of November. I'm like, or, like any other day of the week and things, or day of the month and stuff. And I'm like, fam, what is going on? So, anyways, I got both 3 and Vice Cities in the same day, so I was going back and forth playing them 2 games, and I was like, man, these games are fun. I'm like, this is pretty good. Then I remember with San Andreas, my dad was like, no, the game's too explicit, it's too mature and stuff, can't play that. And I'm like, dang, man, but I'm like, everybody at the school's playing it. I'm like, they're probably even teachers playing it. It's probably the lunchroom ladies probably even playing that game and stuff. Everybody's playing San Andreas. So, but nah, man, I was like, I had to accept it. I'm like, if the game, if it's that bad, then I'm like, yeah, I guess I won't be playing it and stuff. Next thing you know, Christmas comes around, I'm opening up, because I don't even think I had asked for the game. I was like, I just think, because I was like, okay, I'm not gonna get it, so I'm like, if I can't play, I'm like, what's the reason of asking for it? So anyways, unwrapping the presents, fam. I felt like, what was that guy's name from A Christmas Story? Hold on for a second. Let Ralphie. There we go. I felt like Ralphie getting the whatchamacallit, the BB gun, the shotgun BB gun, or whatever it was that he got and stuff, the airsoft rifle, or whatever it was supposed to be called. That's how I felt, fam. You could hear the music playing in the background, all that stuff. I was like, no, I did not just get San Andreas for Christmas. No, this is literally a black version of A Christmas Story. What is going on right now? So yeah, I end up getting San Andreas, playing it, bro. San Andreas, I remember playing that game for the first time, and I'm like, this game is amazing. I'm telling you, if there was a way to see how many hours that you like them play, because it was both me and my sister that was playing that game, and I mean, but just me alone, I was like, fam, I was dumping hours into that game. That was one game where I'm like, bro, I don't know what they did to this game, but it's one of those games where you'll develop an addiction to it, like it was that good. And I know there'll probably be some people where they're like, oh, I don't like old games, I like new games where the better visuals and all that stuff. And so there's probably people out there that's never even played San Andreas. Bro, I'm telling you, play San Andreas, you're going to have a different outlook on video game development. Because when I look at San Andreas, and then when I look at 5 is good. Don't get me wrong. Grand Theft Auto 5 is good. But San Andreas, I'm like, I feel like if San Andreas would have came out in this day and age, it definitely would have been like, no, there's no other game that can top this. I'm like, man, and that was the thing where I wish that if they would have did the remastered edition, they would have did it more so in the sense where it's like the physics was like 4 and 5, Grand Theft Auto 4 and 5. I don't know why when they did that remastered edition, it was like they just pretty much changed the texture and then that was it. I'm like, fam, that's not remastered. That's a texture mod. You got people paying $60 for a texture mod for the 3 Grand Theft Auto games. I'm like, no, that's one of those things. I found that kind of weird, with Rockstar Games. But anyways, played San Andreas, played a crap ton of it. I'm like, I don't know how it could get, any better than this. Like, what could possibly get better than this and stuff? 4 years later, Grand Theft Auto 4 gets announced. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. The physics look crazy. So that time frame, so all of the Grand Theft, because the first, I think, 2 Grand Theft Auto games, it was 1 and 2, it was like a top-down view game. So the only Grand Theft Auto game I remember playing with that view was it was the Grand Theft Auto Advance. They came out with a Game Boy version of Grand Theft Auto, and then it was this one called Chinatown Wars, and that was on the PSP. So yeah, they did. I know people were like, wait a minute, they released Grand Theft Auto games on the PSP? Yes, they had Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories, and then Chinatown Wars. And Chinatown Wars, it wasn't exactly like the old Grand Theft Auto games, but it was like a new version of the old Grand Theft Auto games. So yeah, those were good. There was like, I do have Liberty City Stories and Vice City Stories. I don't have Chinatown Wars, but if I do ever, I guess because I was like, yeah, I would play it on my PSP. I don't even know a place that would sell like a different version. I don't think it came out on anything else. Hold on for a second. GTA, Chinatown Wars, 2009 action. Yeah, it was. Oh, they do have it on iPhone. I guess like if people want to play it on there and stuff. But yeah, Nintendo DS, PlayStation, or yeah, the PSP, iPhone, Android, and Fire OS. What is it? Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Ain't that the same? Okay, I ain't gonna question it. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it alone. But Grand Theft Auto Chinatown Wars was a pretty good game. That was a game where I was like, nah, I did like it, but anyways, so yeah, after, all those like games had came out and stuff, cause it was, yeah, so 2005, wait a minute. I think it was like late 2005, they released Liberty City Stories. And then I think that next year they released Vice City Stories. And then it was Chinatown Wars. And then I think they skipped a year because 2007, either Vice City Stories had came out in 2006 or 7. But there was a year where they skipped a game. And I think it was 2007 because in 2008, Grand Theft Auto 4 releases. So I don't think they really knew what to expect with Grand Theft Auto, because it was like there's no other game in the Grand Theft Auto series that can top San Andreas. They tried with Liberty City Stories. They tried with Vice City Stories. Chinatown Wars, I think, was just kind of like a game where they was like, hey, we got this project. Let's just release it. When 4 was coming out, bro, this was my first time ever seeing people lined up in front of GameStops and all these other different stores for a video game. I've never seen that before. I've never heard of something like that before. So yeah, Grand Theft Auto 4, I knew that it was going to be a serious game. I knew it was going to be a game changer. So anyways, I asked my dad. I remember he comes back home from work. He played a prank on me. He was a picture frame of the main character from Grand Theft Auto 4, Nico Bellic, where he was like, this is all that I can get. And I'm like, it's one of those things where it's like, I can't show no anger, but I feel a little angry because I'm like, everybody else gets a game. I'm like, dang, they sold out of copies that fast. I'm like, the only thing, my thing is this, why would they even do some stuff like that? Why would they only have it where you get a picture frame? I'm like, bro, people can't play a picture frame. That was one of those things where I'm like, I don't know what that's all about, but that's why I would have stopped business with GameStops all the way back then. I'm like, if that's all that they were offering was picture frames, nah, bro. I was like, I'm not trying to just everybody around me playing Grand Theft Auto 4 and I'm just looking at a picture of a fictional character. I'm like, have that up in I think I still got that picture frame too. It's like, it's just sitting in my closet somewhere, but yeah, it's like people come by and they're like, oh, who is this? Why do they look like that and stuff? I'm like, oh yeah, that's a character. Now I'm not trying to have that conversation. I'm trying to play a game. All right. So, but anyways, but no, yeah, he did have the copy. Yeah, he was, like I said, he was just playing a prank on me. But I remember I played that game, bro. It was Grand Theft Auto 4. I was like, wow, this game looks insane. The physics is crazy. How did they do this? How did they go about this game being like this, And yeah, Grand Theft Auto 4, I had got that game because I remember I had my PlayStation 3. And then eventually it was sometime late. I think, it was like maybe a couple of years later, I asked for an Xbox 360. I gave my PlayStation 3 to my sister because I was like, I'm mainly going to be playing on the Xbox and stuff. And yeah, I was like, it's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like now, because I'm a content creator and stuff, so I'm like, I want to make sure I have, content on all platforms and consoles and stuff. And yeah, I think if I was a content creator, I probably wouldn't have given it away. But at the same time, I was like, I wasn't a content creator then, so I was like, I ain't got no need for it. I'm gonna be playing all my games on the 360 and stuff. So, but yeah, no, I remember, falling for the GameStop trick. Going and trading in my games and stuff. I ended up getting Grand Theft Auto because at that point they released DLCs. They released the Lost and Damned and the Ballad, or I think it was like Ballad of Gay Tony. And yeah, I was like, fam, them DLCs, the Lost and the Damned was good, but the Ballad of Gay Tony, I really did enjoy that DLC because it was like, it was new weapons, and then it was kind of like, yeah, it was pretty much like that. So Grand Theft Auto 4 and them two DLCs, that was pretty much like 3 games. And I'm like, bro, they just giving away content like this? That's why it was a while, because, yeah, they had released that in 2008, and then just over the time, they released the DLCs, but it was like, they didn't have a reason to release a game. It was like, they took their time with it and stuff, because it was like, okay, we got this stuff going on with Grand Theft Auto 4, we don't really need to release a game next year or any other year and stuff. But then in 2011, they released the trailer for Grand Theft Auto 5. Whoa, wait a minute, time out. What do you mean Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming out? What are you guys talking about right now? So anyways, yeah, it was like late in the year they released the trailer. Everybody's hyped over it. All of 2012, they're releasing all these like screenshots and trailers and stuff of the game, promoting it, really hyping the game up. And then 2013 comes around, then yeah, that's when they was like, oh yeah, March 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming out and things. Everybody is hyped. Everybody's all like, oh, I can't wait till I get me a copy and things. All of a sudden, we all look up, Grand Theft Auto 5 has been delayed until September of 2013. People were heated. With me, it was like, I didn't really care. I was like, hey, you know what? It's whatever. I got other games. Because I remember the one game, Payday 2, had just came to console. And so I was like, I'm mainly going to be playing that. And then there's going to probably be some other games I'm playing and stuff. But I'm like, yeah, I ain't really tripping about that and things, So anyways, Grand Theft Auto, it ends up getting delayed, and I remember the one guy, Michael Green, I think he goes by the name, the YouTube name Kid Behind the Camera. Hold on for a second, let me, see real quick. It's either Kid Behind a Camera or Kid Behind the Camera, but anyways, let me hold on for a second, it's Kid Behind the Camera, and so he does this video where he crashes out that Grand Theft Auto 5 got delayed, and I'm like, dang, man. I'm like, I guess I didn't feel that. Maybe I should be angry at things, but I feel like that a part of me knew that something wouldn't have been right if they would have released the game early. Because the crazy thing is that, September 2013, Grand Theft Auto 5 does come out. And then, and it's crazy because I was like, that was the last Grand Theft Auto game. Because obviously, we've seen how long it's taken them to release 6 and stuff. So, yeah, that game came out because I had just started my senior year in high school. And so it's just crazy to think, though, with Grand Theft Auto 6, that's going to be, because I have bought like Grand Theft Auto games like on my own and stuff, but like it was old titles and things. It wasn't like no new Grand Theft Auto games and stuff like that. Remastered series that was old. I'm trying to think, I might have like bought some, rebought them like digitally on Steam and Xbox and stuff like that. But Grand Theft Auto 6, like, that's going to be the new Grand Theft Auto game where it's like, I'm not asking nobody. Because it's funny, there's this meme that I reposted on TikTok where it's, they're all like, oh, you need like a parent or guardian to get this game for you. Talking on like Grand Theft Auto 5. And I'm like, fam, like, that's how it was. Like, I was 17 at the time when that game had came out. And now to think that, next year when this game comes out, I'm going to be 30. And it's just crazy to think, like, that's how long long it took them to release that game. It took them 13 years to release it. But anyways, I'm gonna be 30. Like, it's a game where I'm gonna buy it on my own, and I'm like, man, it's just crazy to think. Like, and then no, that was the other part of the meme where there was like cash or card, sir, and it's like an older picture because it shows it was a younger picture of Ryan Gosling, and then it was an older picture of him, and I'm like, dang, no, that's really how it is. Like, no, because I was a kid. I ain't had no facial hair. I was young and all that stuff. I was like, man, they like looking now. I'm like, dang, like this is going to be the first Grand Theft Auto game that I get without being like, oh, hey, can I get Grand Theft Auto and stuff? So I'm like, no, it's one of those things. I'm like, hey, I'm going out to go get Grand Theft Auto. But anyways, but no, yeah, 5 comes out. And then I remember that it was delayed with multiplayer. Because they released this, because that's what they did originally, that they released the story mode first. Story mode took maybe, because at least it took me, because I was playing other games, and then also I was in school at the time, so I couldn't really sit down and play the game like, back to back, like some people. I had homework stuff, and so yeah, there are some people where they, be up in the middle of the night. I'm like, man, I gotta go to school the next day, I got things I need to do and stuff. I can't be doing that, so I didn't end up beating the game until I think it was maybe a day, or I remember it was some point before multiplayer had came out. But yeah, then multiplayer came out, and then after that, it was like, I just remember dumping hours into Grand Theft Auto 5, bro. And then they've released the next gen version because the Xbox Ones and the PlayStation 4s were coming out. And I was like, oh, then I remember they did the trailer where it was like a side-by-side viewing of how the physics and all that stuff is different. And I'm like, I mean, I didn't care. I was like, I'd still found Grand Theft Auto 5 enjoyable on the Xbox 360. So I'm like, fam, I don't care that it's different things. But anyways, but no, yeah, I was like, fam, I just remember dumping hours. Oh, then they were doing those like Rockstar glitches. Because, yeah, there was like Rockstar, for some reason, they had the missions set up. Hopefully when 6 comes out, they don't have it set up like that where you're getting chump change for doing some crazy missions. They got you doing Fast and Furious missions, but they have you getting paid that minimum wage and stuff. You only getting paid like $13,000 to do a mission. And I'm like, bro, but meanwhile they have it where everything, it's like there's clothes that are probably in the game that don't even cost $13,000, but they have you doing missions where it's like that's all that you're gonna get. I don't know what the situation is now. It's been a while since I've sat down and played multiplayer, but yeah, man, I thought that was crazy when they were doing that with Grand Theft Auto, and I'm like, bro, I don't know what it is that you guys got going on, but that's gonna have to change and stuff. So, but nah, man, then the rest was history. Then it's like, yeah, pretty much anything that people had seen with Grand Theft Auto 5 after it released and stuff, I'm like, the rest of it was history. Now it's like, gotta see what 6 is gonna be like, because I'm saying Grand Theft Auto 6, when that game comes out, I'm letting a lot of people know, don't contact nobody that's a gamer, because they most likely gonna be playing that game. You're gonna go to work, you're going to probably see a lack of people at work, especially if they gamers. There's going to probably be some people that are not even gamers, but they're all like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go out, I'm going to get me a PlayStation or an Xbox, and I'm going to see what this game's all about. I'm going to see what all the fun is about and things. Or if they got a gaming PC, they're going to be like, if the game does release on gaming PCs at the same time it would on console, yeah, there's going to be people all like, I'm going to play it on Steam or Xbox or PlayStation. But then, yeah, you're going to notice teachers, you're going to notice a lack of kids at school. And I'm like, it's one of those things where you just gonna have to understand. Like, if I was a teacher and just me being me and stuff, and I know I'm gonna most likely be playing Grand Theft Auto 6 myself, I'm like, it'll be one of those things where I'm like, the day when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, I'm like, hey, I know you guys are gonna be playing this game, so no homework tonight. I'm like, because I know y'all gonna be playing Grand Theft Auto 6, and I'm not gonna do that to you where it's like you guys got a choice of playing one of the funnest games of all time, or trying to. So no, I'm like, y'all, it's cool, it's chill, don't even trip and worry about it. I'm like, yeah, it's like we'll figure it out with the whole homework situation and things. And yeah, I'm like, I ain't gonna having no test or no pop quizzes or none of that, because I know your guys' brain is locked in on Grand Theft Auto 6, so I'm not gonna do that to y'all. People, I'm telling you, if I was a teacher, I swear kids, it would be one of those things. It would be like a Mr. Feeney situation from Boys Meet World. They're gonna be like, nah, bro, you gotta come to college with us. Like, you gotta fill out a job application and come to our college with us and things. We can't just have it where you just working here and we can't deal with you no more and stuff. So, but anyways, yeah, I'm just letting y'all know when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, the world is going to go quiet and we're gonna hear a lot of button clicking, mouse and keyboard clicking. It's going to be a lot of people locked in on Grand Theft Auto 6 when that game comes out. So, but anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.